white woman was just killed by ICE in Minneapolis on camera. And you know what? Sometimes people need to hear it from a girl that looks like me. This is a big deal that ICE killed a white woman, not because her life matters more than the countless black and brown people ICE has killed and detained and terrorized for decades. Her life doesn't matter more, but her death breaks through a protection most white people didn't even know they had. For years, white Americans could tell themselves that this ICE violence only happened to those people, to immigrants, to the undocumented, somebody else's problem. But when ICE kills a white US citizen, that distance evaporates real quick. She was not undocumented. She wasn't breaking the law. She was just there. And now she's dead. And when you build a machine designed to terrorize people without any accountability, eventually it doesn't discriminate anymore. It just destroys. And the media suddenly cares because she's white. When ICE kills black and brown people, when they rip families apart, when they die in a detention center, it gets buried. A paragraph in local news if we're lucky, but when a white woman dies, it's a national headline. The racism in that disparity is staggering. Her death isn't any more tragic, it's just more visible. And here's what makes it even harder to sit with. Most white women voted for Trump. They voted for this administration that weaponized ICE and made the cruelty all happen, that turned human beings into profit margins. They voted for the system, and now it's killed one of their own. Immigrant communities have been trying to warn everyone for a decade now. They've been living this nightmare while being told that they deserved it, that they should have just come here legally, that this was somehow justice. And it wasn't justice. It was always terror. And it's finally touching people who they thought were exempt. Maybe that's what it takes, not because white lives matter more, but because some people only learn when the pain reaches their own doorstep. If this death finally makes people see what's happening all along, not just to immigrants, but to all of us living under systems designed to control and extract, then maybe something shifts. Not because she deserved to die or be the one that mattered, but because her death might be the crack that breaks this whole thing open. This is the end of ICE giving a single fuck. All bets are off. They've been off. They've been doing this for years. But now they're not even pretending. They do not give a shit. This is what happens when we're giving bounties to a bunch of fucking losers who get a job where they can terrorize people with unchecked power and a bonus. Let me be super clear. ICE exists to make rich people richer. ICE exists to terrorize working people. ICE exists to ethnically cleanse the United States, and I can prove it. And real quick, I'm Lauren Paritra. Please take a moment to subscribe, share this video with a friend, hit that notifications bell, turn notifications on, because I currently have a lead on Katie Miller, who is the wife of Stephen Little Bitch Miller, the man behind all of this terror, a white nationalist from Santa Monica, and we cannot let voices like that drown out the correct ones. So make sure you hit subscribe. We are in this together. And right now, ICE is holding 68,000 people. Two companies, GEO Group and Core Civic, run most of the detention centers. They get paid between $130 and $200 per day, per person. That's $9 million every single day. $3 billion a year just for keeping people in cages. But here's where it gets insane. 75% of the people they're holding, if not more, haven't been convicted of anything. 3 out of 4 people, no conviction, no trial, just locked up. The contracts have something called minimum bed guarantees. The government promises to pay for a certain number of beds, whether people are in them or not. So if ICE doesn't arrest enough people, taxpayers still pay. We pay for this. Empty beds are bad for their business, which means the system needs to keep cages full to justify that expense. During the 2025 government shutdown, when they said they were too broke to pay park rangers, ICE deported 56,000 people. Over 21,000 of them, no criminal record. That's a 2,131% increase from the year before. Too broke for national parks, but unlimited budget for ripping families apart. ICE's budget had more than doubled since 2003, from $3 billion to over $8 billion. You justify that growth with numbers, more raids, more arrests, more people locked up. Last year, they did over 1,000 workplace raids. Where? Restaurants, construction sites, bakeries, nail salons, farms, places where working people clock in for minimum wage. How many executives got arrested for hiring those workers? Zero. And this is where it gets really fucked up because the people who never face consequences, they're immigrants too. Let's talk about Elon Musk. Elon Musk admitted he worked here illegally in the 90s. Dropped out of Stanford, no visa, just started a company. Now he's worth hundreds of billions. Rupert Murdoch overstayed his student visa, built a media empire. Melania Trump, Lady Einstein, worked on a tourist visa, completely illegally. There are photos from the modeling job she did while she was here illegally. They're still online. Sergey Brin came as a refugee kid, built Google, worth over 100 billion. When you have money, immigration violations become nothing. Your lawyer handles it. Maybe you pay a small fine, maybe nothing happens at all, but if you're working at a farm, at a chicken plant, ICE shows up with guns pointed directly at you. The employers who knowingly hired undocumented workers for years, maybe they get fined, maybe $5,700 max. That's a used car. That's nothing. The worker who showed up every day at 5 a.m., who has kids in school, who pays rent, who pays taxes, they disappear. And that word disappeared. That's what people actually say now. We're living in a country, a different kind of country. But all of this terror is exactly by design. When you're terrified of deportation, you don't report wage theft. You don't complain when equipment breaks down and almost kills you. You don't ask for the overtime pay you're legally owed. You don't organize or unionize. You don't join a union. You stay quiet. And when one group of workers is too scared to speak up, everyone's wages goes down. Everyone's conditions get worse. Research actually proves this. Immigration it depresses wages for all workers, not just undocumented people, everyone in those industries, because employers know that they can rely on a workforce with zero leverage. Why raise wages when people are too afraid to quit? Why fix dangerous equipment when no one's going to report it? It's not about law enforcement. They want to control the labor. When ICE raids a workplace, families lose their income overnight. No warning. Kids end up in foster care, which costs the state money while also traumatizing children. Rent doesn't get paid. People lose their homes. And the damage spreads through entire neighborhoods. Small businesses lose customers. Schools lose students. Local shops close temporarily to avoid raids. Workers hear rumors and they flee their jobs. Whole communities destabilize. And the entire time, contractors running these internment camps are getting rich. Companies providing food to detention centers, medical care, ankle monitors, phone systems charging $1 per minute just to talk to your kids. Bus companies doing the deportation runs, private for-profit prison companies that are publicly traded. You can read their quarterly earnings calls. They literally say things like strong performance this quarter due to increased detention numbers to investors. Human suffering. This is a line item in a financial report, but it gets worse. And this is what really fucks me up to think about. The whole system, the raids, the quotas, the profit, the incentives, it's designed to do exactly one thing: to keep a permanent underclass of terrified workers who can be exploited without any consequences. Corporations get cheap disposable labor while they can underpay and mistreat. Prison companies get guaranteed revenue. Government agencies get bigger budgets, more power. Contractors get lucrative deals. Politicians get to campaign on being tough. And working families, immigrants, and US born get crushed. The wealthy never face any of their consequences. Tech executives who overstay visas don't get raided. Venture capitalists employing workers on shaky visas face zero consequences. CEOs who built empires exploiting workers, exploiting labor, getting rich off of people, and skirting around immigration law, they don't face any consequences. ICE only targets working class people. ICE exists to terrorize the working class, the only ones trying to survive, because that's what this all is. This is ethnic cleansing, but with profit motives. Remove the wrong people bullshit, terrorize the ones who stay, keep everyone desperate and afraid. And it works until it doesn't, because here's what they're not telling you. All of this stops when enough of us have had enough. Not when we reform ICE, not when they get more training, not when we elect better politicians, not when we wait for the system to fix itself, when we actually organize, when we rely on community coalitions, when we take working people and come together, working people, immigrants, citizens, documented, undocumented, and realize we all have the same enemies and the same interests. When people stop letting them divide us by citizenship status while they rob all of us blind. The system runs on our compliance and our fear, on us believing that some workers deserve protection and others don't. It runs on us thinking that this is normal, that this is inevitable, this is just how things are run, but it's not. This is a choice. This is a business model, and business models can be disrupted. Every workplace that refuses to cooperate with ICE raids, every community that shields its neighbors, every person that takes out their phone when they see a raid occurring and films the police, films the ICE agents, when you work with your coworkers instead of against them, every person who recognizes that illegal is a status created to make exploitation legal. That's how this ends. Not with policy papers, not with better Democrats, with mass refusal. Because they need us a hell of a lot more than we need them. And the moment that we remember that the moment enough of us actually act on it, their whole system collapses. This choice is ours. It has always been. So here's what you can do right now. You can share this video. You can make sure people see it. You can leave a comment so it pushes it out to more people. And if you know anyone who still thinks ICE is just enforcing the law or just capturing narco terrorists or gang members, send this to them. We need to build power. And this starts with breaking through the propaganda. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn notifications on. Follow me on social media. Links are all in the description because we're going to keep talking about this and we're going to keep exposing this, and we're not stopping until the whole system comes down. We are in this together. Let's continue to act like it.